This is Dainius and the rest of the Sisyphean. I'll see you at the Tampa Morgue.
I just know there's something dark in me. I hide it. Dark passenger. And when he's driving, I feel alive.
What's up? This is Tony, and you're listening to the Tampa Morgue Season 3, Episode 139. And from his studio deep in the bowels of Tampa Bay, Florida, Mr. Ed Webb. What's up, Webb?
Finally, I'm back again in my studio. Thank you so much. What's up, brother?
Nothing much, man. We opened up the show with Hunting for Answers from Vilnius, Lithuania's black death metal band Sisyphean from their latest record, Divergence, that came out on the Norwegian label Edge Circle Productions, April 3rd, 2026. It will be joined by the guys from the band here in about 20 minutes. But first, Ed, you are back from Maryland Death Fest, man. How was it?
It was actually crazy. It was sold out. For the pre-fest, I was surprised. We found out the morning of it was sold out, which was killer. And when I walked out on stage and saw all the people, I said, it's amazing that I just toured Europe and I had to go to Baltimore, Maryland to get the fucking crowd we needed to have in Europe. So yeah, it was, and they were pitting there. I know you saw the video. It was pretty lit, man. It was on fire. I was surprised. The other bands that opened, we played with Organ Dealer, Primitive Man, who, you know, they're kind of a doom band. They were killer. Repulsion played after us, and then Napalm Death finished. So yeah, it was a pretty stellar night of bands for the pre-fest. And yeah, I was shocked to see it was just 3 levels of absolute madness going on, and it was killer for sure.
Yeah, because you guys, played Wednesday?
Correct. Yeah, and we took Sinister were supposed to play. I guess they had 2 sets going on, and, I guess one of the guys is sick in the band, and I saw his video, and I hope he gets a speedy recovery, man. I know he's been dealing with some health issues, so I think they canceled that set at the pre-fest, but they did their other set the other day with a couple of other dudes. I think it was the guy from Malignancy. I can't remember who they got to fill in. I know they tried a couple of different people. I don't want to mention any names because they couldn't do it, but they did play. I think yesterday or the day before, I saw a video of Sinister playing, and they sounded great. So yeah, so we got bumped to their slot, which was 9 to 9:50, which that's prime real estate, you know, for a festival. So yeah, it was killer, sounded killer. We played great. One of my better shows in a while because I just seeing the crowd hype. There was a dude in a banana suit that was surfing the crowd, so it's always fun to have somebody like that. You know, you know, it's just great time.
How was the weather when you were there? Because I know the rest of this weekend I've been seeing like people posting about it, putting up videos, and the really a
Raining.
lot of rain. Yeah, just rain, rain, rain.
So it rained. It rained the night we played, but we played indoors, so it didn't really matter. But when you got to the main festival, the 2 main stages are outside. So if you're on that stage, it's a little rough. Because I've been there. When we were there last time, Dismember played, and we had these food tickets, and we went and got food, and we ate in this little tent. And when we came out, we went to go watch Dismember, and it started raining. And I was like, I'm out. It was like, nope. But there's people that bring ponchos, and there's I'm sorry, man. There's people that are bred for that shit. I mean, you know, you and I both have talked. I don't think I could spend 4 or 5 days at a festival like today. When I was younger, absolutely, probably would have done it like no problem. Today, fuck no, man. I'm not doing that shit. It's just too much. You know, it's just I don't know. My brain can't handle that much like music and people like that. I don't know. It's just weird.
How was the flights? Not bad.
Quick, 2 hours, man. The flight out sucked because we were delayed, probably because of the weather. The plane coming in to get us was delayed, and then the little arm on the towing vehicle that takes you out to the runway snapped. So while we were stuck on the runway waiting on them to fix the linchpin on the fucking thing, so that was another 40 minutes. But yeah, I mean, flights were killer. Hotel was killer. You know, we ate killer. We ate Chili's every day because there was a Chili's literally 5 minutes up the road walk. So yeah, man, it was, but the weather on the day we left was like 65 degrees, was the high. So it was, you know, that's the kind of weather I wish we had here, but we do not.
Did you
So
catch any other bands playing?
just the bands the night we played. That's it. Cause we we were at the airport by noon, on Thursday. So, and I did not see any, but like I said, Primitive Man was killer. They're kind of a doomy style band. And then, Repulsion, I went out front and watched them. It's been a long time since I had heard that name. And, you know, they were killer. And, of course I saw Napalm in Europe. We played with them on the first show of the tour. And I mean, napalm's napalm now. It's just Barney screaming his head off. So it's just they're crazy, man. When we were when we were in Europe, I think on the way home we had found out that they were playing a show in Japan and then flying that after the show directly to America to start the tour at the Mug. From Japan to Tampa
Nice.
to start a show the next, like, in a day and a half. I was like, "Man, fuck that." Like, do you know how long the flight is from Japan? That's like an 18-hour flight, like, minimum, depending on how you're flying. But I'll give it to them. They're out there touring, man, and killing it. So
Yeah, and those who are new to the show, when we mentioned the Mug, it's our, in Tampa, it's just a very historic venue that everybody's played at for many, many years. It's Tampa is like CBGB's,
it is.
that's the best way to explain
But
it, right?
I made a mistake. Actually, I said the Mug, but they played the Orpheum.
Well,
But,
yes,
Mug,
actually,
Orpheum,
yeah,
they're around
yeah.
the corner. They're like fucking now
It
they're
was the
what, 5
Orpheum. We
minutes from
announced it
each
on
other?
this show. Yeah.
5 minutes from each other,
Yeah.
but still, I mean, to fly from Japan to Tampa to start a tour like that is just man, I don't know. Maybe I'm a pussy, I guess.
Well, next you guys have Milwaukee. That's next week.
Next week. Next
Yep.
week, we play Friday night with Acid Bath, Obituary, Nunslaughter, who we've actually, there's 4 bands. If I'm not mistaken, if when I read it, there's either 3 or 4 bands the night we
Yeah,
play
because
that
you're
we've
playing
had
with
on the
Mortis
shows.
Scold.
Border Scold's playing the same day. Obituary, we had Terry on.
Don from Nunslaughter.
Nunslaughter, and there was one more. I can't remember who it is. Um, and of course, yours truly. So, we have, it's going to be a great night. I wish I could stay for the whole weekend, but after that show, I am on sabbatical.
Family vacation. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. I am like phone off. Don't call me. Don't talk to me. I'm decompressing because it's been a long 6 weeks. Not gonna lie, man. All the shit every day I'm on tour. Refrigerator broke, air conditioning's broke, daughter's car's fucked up, Bryce's car's fucked up. I'm like, bro, my sister broke a pipe on her house. I'm like, I'm 7,000 miles away. I don't know, what I guess I'm
At least you
supposed
know
to.
you're needed.
Yeah, it makes me feel good,
At
but
least you
it
know
is
you're
what it
needed when you
is,
get
but
home.
it is nice to be home. Yep, absolutely.
Next week we have Andy LaRock coming on the show from King Diamond, Lex Legion. And then we got Ben Jackson coming on from Crimson Glory. Got a bunch of stuff going on here. I'm
Yes,
excited
sir.
about Andy LaRock, man. I have to say.
Yeah. I mean, we grew up with that guy. King Diamond is a huge staple in my my musical history, so it's going to be exciting to talk to him. It's actually huge, man. Like we got Scott Burns. I'm thinking, how do you do higher? But Andy LaRock's a pretty smash and catch too, man. I'm excited.
Both of us grew up on his music. Huge King Diamond fan here. It should be, and he's a really down to earth guy. Like I booked directly through him pretty much for the most part, which so yeah.
Doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, so we'll have him on next week, and again, Ben Jackson from Crimson Glory, and more episodes after that we'll announce when we get close. Again, tonight we have Sisyphean from Lithuania. The band's founder and guitarist Kamel was supposed to be on the show with us tonight from Spain, but technology has reared its ugly head, and he will not be with us. But we will be joined by the band's vocalist, guitarist, and bassist here in a few minutes. But Ed, everybody who's been listening lately knows that we've been asking our guests who their favorite or who they feel is the most important band to come out of Florida and their favorite record to come out of Florida. We've done it for probably about 8 episodes now. We've had Nasty Ronnie do it, Lee from Monstrosity, Kyle Thomas from X-Hoarder, Jeff from Imprecation. Tonight, we're going to have the bassist and vocalist Possessor and guitarist S. Bellis from Austria's Transylvania. They were on episode 135. So when we interview these bands, we always ask them this question, and we kind of put it to the side. We don't put it on the same episode that they're on. We save it for a future episode, and tonight, we're using the Transylvania segment of that. So this is what they had to say, and we'll be back on the Tampa Morgue after this. Okay, Possessor, who do you feel is the most important or influential band to come out of Tampa, Florida, or Florida in general?
Morbid Angel. It's Morbid
There you
Angel.
go.
It's like a big influence for me. All the ideas, the songwriting, it's so a big inspiration for us, or for me, when I'm doing or writing songs, and it's the Authors of Madness, Blessed Are the Sick, all those albums. Those have a huge impact on my whole idea of me as a musician, actually.
What is your favorite record to come out of Tampa or Florida again?
Scream Bloody Gore, actually. It's one of those albums what I heard first of death metal, and how should I say, it's like so dark and so evil, not like death metal in general, like you hear it on certain other bands, and it's more like a huge thrash metal influence and all the stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Asbelis, who do you feel is the most important or influential band to come out of the Tampa Bay area, and what is your favorite record to come out of Tampa or Florida?
It's easily Morbid Angel for me as well, from Florida. It's just been massively influential for me as well. And favorite record, Altars of Madness for me as well. So double Morbid Angel.
There you
It's
go.
just, I don't know. They did it differently. It's way more in every direction possible. And as a guitarist as well, Trey, it's just next level.
Awesome.
I can't even begin to describe. Like, it's a massive influence.
And again, that was possessor and guitarist S. Bellis from Austria's Transylvania. If you want to check out the full episode, it was episode 135. So Ed, I say let's do what we do on here, man. First, we'll play the fitness ad. Then we'll play some Sisyphean. Then we'll do, this promo for the show. We'll mention releases, mention any shows we have, and then get to the guys from Sisyphean.
Sounds good.
Next, we're going to play Sisyphean, the track Shattered Glass from Illusions of Eternity, which was the band's debut album that came out October 2017 on Jakar Productions. So we're going to play that, and we'll be back on the Tampa Morgue after this.
What's up, guys? This is Ed from the Morgue, and if you're like Tony and I and dedicated to working out, and you're from Tampa or will be visiting Tampa, I'm going to let you in on the best-kept secret gym in the area, Tampa Family Fitness on the corner of Bears and Florida Avenue. And unlike the big box gyms where you're just a name and a number, the owners, Sarah and Eddie Amaral, have created a community where you're not just another face lost in the crowd. They also have, hands down, the best trainers in Tampa, with Coach J, Jared Perea, who I've personally witnessed take his clients to award-winning bodybuilders. Not to mention this dude is an absolute beast himself. So if you want to get in the best shape of your life, this is definitely the place to do it, and these are the people to do it with. So if you want a no-frills gym experience that I can only describe as old-school Arnold Schwarzenegger on Venice Beach with no fancy machines, just get in, get your ass kicked, get a crushing workout, then you want to go to Tampa Family Fitness at 14968 North Florida Avenue. And if you're a band that's traveling to Tampa and playing the Orpheum or the Brass Mug, this is literally less than a 5-minute drive from either location. There's a QR code on the door. Just scan it, pay $10, and you're good to go for the whole day. Or if you're in Tampa and you want to see what all the hype's about, stop in and get a day pass. And make sure you tell them Ed sent you from the Tampa Morgue.
welcome back to the morgue. This is episode 139. In a few minutes, we'll be joined by the guys from villainous Lithuanian's black death metal band Sisyphean, and the song we just came out of was Shattered Glass off Sisyphean's 2017 debut record, Illusions of Eternity. And if you're a new listener, we appreciate you checking out the show. If you'd like to contact us, you can email us at thetampamorgue@gmail.com or message us on the official Tampa Morgue Instagram page. The Instagram page is the best place to keep up with the latest on the show, upcoming guests, and basically anything Tampa Morgue related. And if you are looking to snag one of the official Tampa Morgue shirts, send us a message. They're $25 plus shipping. We do ship to Europe and the United States. And as we always say, we are in no way influencers. We are just an underground radio show that documents the history of extreme music with the artists who create it. We do no video, only audio, and we appreciate everyone that hangs out with us weekly. And again, this is episode 139. You can go back and listen to 138 previous episodes wherever you listen to your podcasts. On past episodes, you'll find interviews with artists like Vincent Crowley of Acheron, ex-Nocturnus and the Vincent Crowley Band, Dawn of the Dead of Nunslaughter and Satanic Threat, Snowy Shaw of Merciful Fate, King Diamond and Notre Dame. That's a deep dive interview with Snowy. Great interview if you're a fan. We had Kyle Thomas of Ex-Hoarder and Trouble, Ex-Floodgate and Alabama Thunderpussy on the show. He's been on here a few times. The last time he was on, we dissected the Slaughter in the Vatican album from 1990. We had Dallas Tuller Wade on here a few times from Narcotic Wasteland and Ex-Nihil, Jamie Bailey from Brodequin and Liturgy, Matt Bishop from Human Artifacts, Horrific Demise and Ex-Levidity, Thomas of Wolfheart, Henry of God Dethroned, King Fally of Deceased and October 31, Beelzebub of Mystic Circle. We had Chris Reifert on the show from Autopsy, Abscess, Eat My Fucking Violation Wound, Blaine Cook from The Accused and The Accused AD, Gene from Perdition Temple, Malefic Throne, Ex-Angel Corpse, and Hexorcist. We had Ryan Waste from Municipal Waste, Bat, and Vulture on here, Lee Payne from Club and Hoof, Pooch from Raped Ape, Harry Quokinen from Hooded Menace, Hail Conjurer, Horse Latitudes, and Hollow Woods, Dave Greger of Mortis Scold, Jim and Pat of Morbid Saint, Carl Kennedy of The Rods, Paul Speckman from Master, Bill Owen from Purgatory, John Gallagher of Raven, Dave Austin of Nasty Savage, David Howard Thornton, who played Art the Clown in the Terrifier films, Lord Araman of Dark Funeral, Bobby G of Overkill and Satan's Taint, John Walker of Cancer, Witch Trap out of Colombia, Glenn Destructor from Australia's Destructor, Phantom out of Mexico, Martin Missy from Protector, Luciferian Rights out of Mexico, Rob from Lucifericon at Ex-Destroyer 666, Alan Howarth, who did the music for Halloween, Escape from New York, Poltergeist, They Live, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Gremlins, and much more. John Berry from Slaughter Messiah, Ancient Rites, and Nocturnal. We had Yano of Anal Vomit out of Peru, Ritual Butcher of Finland's Ark Goat, Jeff Manis of Venom and Venom Inc. That's a 5-hour deep dive episode. We had Necromorbid out of Italy, Norway's Heimland, Lord Sabathan from Slaughter Messiah, Heinous, Ex-Enthroned in Morbid Death, Crusher of Finland's Morgul. We had Adam Scott of Cardiac Arrest, Terry Butler from Obituary, Inhuman Condition, Ex-Death, Ex-Massacre, and Left to Die, Nige Rocket of Onslaught. We had Infernal and Odenon of Disaster, Sergeant Salston of Deathhammer, Alessio from Violenter, Ex-Hobbs Angel of Death, and The Mentors. We had Noella of Hexea out of Texas on the show. We had Daniel Avenger of Nocturnal, Angel of Damnation, and Black Priest of Satan on here. Eric from Goat Seaman, Evil Dam, Ex-Sarum, and Ex-Black Angel. We had Simo on of Finland's Flame and Exodorier, Sadistic Fornicator and Bassist the One on from UK's Necromaniac. We had Magnus on of Norway's Aberration, Ex-Condor, Ex-Hecatomb, and Ex-Mayans Hill. Anti, a.k.a. Necroterror of Cadaveric Incubator, Ex-Torso Fox, Ex-Slugother, and Satanic War Master. Nasty Ronnie was on the show for 4 hours. It's a deep dive into the history of Nasty Savage and the Tampa scene. Chris Volcano of Abominator, Cemetery Urn, Denouncement Pyre, and Ex-Destroyer 666. It's Chris Volcano's first audio interview ever. You Horror Preacher of Vomit Angel, Mask of Satan, and Witch's Hollow. Tony Thomas of Witch Vomit and Torture Rack. Yarno of Finland's Urn, Ex-Barathrum and Graves, Kev Desecrator of Destroyer 666, Sepulchre, Venefiction, and Profanation. We had Atax and Scum on of German black metal band Pest. Yuha of Death Chain, Chamber of Unlight, and War Moon Lord. Hana of Asagrum and Ex-Wolvenblood. We had Pat from Hellwitch on the show. Perversifier from Miramac, Ancestral Fog, and Ex-Morte and Cadicente. And we had Lee Harrison on from Monstrosity, Ex-Malevolent Creation, Ex-Terrorizer, Ex-Midnight. That's a deep dive 8-hour interview, broken up into 2 episodes. These are just some of the interviews you'll hear on the Tampa Morgue. You can go back and listen to them wherever you listen to your podcast, again, for free. And what we're going to do now is we're going to mention some upcoming releases, mention some shows, and then we'll get to our guests, the guys from Sisyphean. And And the first one I'm going to mention is Necrobeast, the Chilean black thrash metal band. They're putting out a record called Iron Baphomet on Witches Brew Records out of Germany. Necrobeast formed in 2005, put out a demo in 2006, a split in 2020, and a split also in 2022. This will be the band's debut full length that has 8 tracks and comes out on May 25th. Next, we'll mention Degenerated, the Italian death metal band. They're putting in an album called Echoes of Infection. It's coming out on Great Dane Records out of France. Degenerated formed in 2000, put out a 6-song demo in 2000 titled Nuclear Test Failed. They also put out a full length of the same name in 2024. Echoes of Infection has 9 tracks, and it'll be out May 29th on Great Dane. Next, we're going to mention Hecate Enthroned, the UK black metal band. They're putting out an album called The Corpse of a Titan, a Lament Long Buried. It's coming out on M Theory Audio out of Las Vegas. Hecate Enthroned formed in 1995 and put out a demo in 1995. And through the years, they put out 2 EPs, 4 splits, and this will be the band's 7th full length. It has 9 tracks and will be available on May 29th. I also want to mention there's going to be a split between Priest Strangler and Iron Savage. It's coming out on May 25th on Consumed by Darkness Records out of the UK. And that's all the info I have on that split. And then we're going to mention the Swedish black metal band Eternal Evil. They're putting out an album called Forever Feared on Listenable Records. Eternal Evil formed in 2019. First release was a 2019 demo titled Rise of Death. They also put out a full length in 2021 and 2023. Forever Feared will be available on May 29th. And the last release I'm going to mention is from the Portland black metal band Uwada. They're putting out an album called Interwoven on Eisenwald Records. Uwada formed in 2014. Their first release was a debut in 2016 titled Devoid Delight. This will be the band's 5th full length. It'll have 6 tracks, 2 being covers, one consisting of Nirvana's Something in the Way. Interwoven is available May 29th. And Ed, for shows, I only have basically the same thing I announced last week, man. I only have a few shows to mention. I don't know if you have anything. But I will start with Thursday, May 28th, Death Angel, Violence, and Insight in Orlando at the Abbey. Same package, Friday, May 29th at the Culture Room in Fort Lauderdale. And then the same package again, Saturday, May 30th at the Orpheum in Tampa. Yeah, and Ed, I don't know, do you have any shows? I didn't see much going on for the next few weeks.
That's all I got. That's all I got. And actually, I'm considering not going to the Tampa show only because they are playing the same set at Milwaukee the same day we play. So I'm thinking maybe I'll watch them there.
You're going to see that set there.
I'm going to see that set. So I'm considering because I like Death Angel and I want to support. But if I'm going to see it already, I'm going to be obviously stuck at the venue. And it's just a killer night of shows, so I'll probably watch it. But yeah, that's all I had was the Death Angel. That's all I saw, which is crazy. But maybe because it's festivals, I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking too. I didn't see much either. So yeah, let's get to our guest, Ed. Yeah, tonight again we were supposed to have Camille from the band, who is the founder of the band, joining us, but we could not get technology to work. Just didn't happen. But we are going to be joined by Saulius, the guitarist, the bassist Augustinas, and vocalist Dainius from the band. So, Ed, we're going to play some Sisyphean, and we're going to play some Scorched Timeless from their album Colors of Faith that came out on Transcending Obscurity Records. So we're going to play that now. This is Sisyphean with Scorched Timeless, and we'll be back on the Tampa Morgue with the guys from the band after this.
More
And that was Scorched Timeless from the Sisyphean 2022 record, Colors of Faith. And we are joined by some of the guys from the band. How you guys doing?
Doing great, thanks.
Hey man, glad to have you guys tonight. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're hoping that Camille will join us pretty soon. But we have with us, we'll start with you, Solus. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Saulius, guitarist from Sisyphean, probably the main composer. 4 years in the band, and yeah, let's go.
How about you, Augustinos?
Hi, I'm Augustinas. I'm the newest member of the band, and I play bass. I joined the band in 2025.
And then Dainius.
Hey, Dainius here, vocalist, lyricist. I joined the band in 2019, so we did a couple of albums with the band already. And yeah, glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you guys on the show. The last show you guys did was in Norway a few weeks ago, April 25th, with Asagrum and Rioter. What can you tell us about that show and how it got set up?
So I think I can cover this. The show was set up by our record label, Edge Circle Productions. They released our newest record, Divergence. And it was an amazing show right in the heart of Bergen, where the label is from. So we flew there. We shared the stage with Azagram and Ryder, and it was an amazing experience. And we're super thankful for all the guys from the label and the bands. And it was an amazing experience because just to go to Norway, to the cold black heart of black metal and all that, and just seeing all these places, this beautiful city where all these amazing bands came from. Yeah, I think the guys agree, and maybe Dainius can add to my ramblings.
Well, they call Bergen for some reason or another the capital of black metal, which is to some extent definitely true, because on every corner you bump into some kind of black metal history. Our host, Stian from Edge Circle Productions, the label boss, was guiding us through the city, and he was telling the story. So in that bar, there was this gig happening in '94. In that record shop, there was this happening. So the city is so drenched in black metal history and in general in music history. It was so amazing. Plus, you're surrounded by mountains, by majestic landscapes everywhere around, and you really get the idea how the black metal as a genre, as a culture, could have developed in such an environment. So it was really inspiring. It was a great experience for us individually and also as a band, I would say.
And how many shows have you guys done in support of the Divergence album?
So far, 4. The album was released last month, so we did 3 Lithuanian shows: Kaunas, Vilnius, Klaipėda, 3 major cities in Lithuania, and 1 in Norway.
And how much of your current set list is made up of songs from the new record?
It's around 50-50. It helps to keep the set list sort of varied, to throw in some old songs. They're kind of different in the whole mood and the whole approach. And it really, I think from the eyes of the audience, it helps to keep the set list varied, interesting enough to keep the dynamics slower, heavier, faster, softer. So it's always good to have a variety in a live setting.
And I just saw you guys play probably, I guess it was about a month ago, maybe at Dana Cinema in Konus with Luctus, Storm Gray, and Cinemort. And this was a venue you guys are familiar with because you guys had shot the Scorched Timeless video there 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago. So the backstory of this whole video is the venue that you mentioned is brand new venue in Kaunas. It's an old building. It's an interwar building from, I think, 37, built in 37, but it was deserted for maybe 20 years. It was like in critical condition. The roof was leaking. It was just not safe to organize any kinds of event there. And a few years ago, somebody bought the building and with an idea of turning it into a venue. And our friend was working on the renovation project, and he kind of tipped us that, look, there is this venue who will transform eventually into like a brand new high quality venue. So if you want to do like a video out there, it's a last opportunity to do it. So, and really, the building has really transformed. It's probably now the best venue in the Baltic region. Like it's so fresh, so new, totally refurbished. So it was kind of surreal to see that the place where we shot the video uh, got so shape shifted that much. It was just unrecognizable. So yeah, um, that's the story, and we're kind of lucky. I think we were the only band, at least from the metal scene, who shot a video out there, and now having seen the whole transformation, we're really happy that we did.
Yeah, because if you watch that video, the one we're talking about, the Scorched Timeless, you could see, like, the paint peeling off the walls and stuff on it. You could definitely get the old vibe before they redid it. Because now it's, well, like I said, we were just there, it was a killer club. And you guys definitely have a theatrical side to the band, and, would you say that making videos is, something that is, important to the band?
I think it's not even the well, talking about video stuff, it's not even about the theatrical side. I'd say it's more of a creativity thing because we enjoy doing not only, music and audio and, lyrics and stuff, but, it's a different kind of process to figure out the scenario for a music video. And it's fun to do. I enjoy it, really. I do. And yeah, so since we're all, in the creative field and we're all creatives, so I'd say it's for us, it's a natural process behind the whole thing. So we get the songs done, but we also think about the visuals and what could we achieve. And we now have three completely different videos for three tracks from the album.
Yeah, because you guys have done 2 for the new record too, right? And Divergence and Blackbird, That Brings No Joy. On this show, we kinda start with the history before the bands and stuff and where you guys started out personally, and I'll start with you, Solus. Where were you born at, and, what year were you born at?
Okay. Yeah, I was born in Ignalina. I don't know if this name actually says anything to you. Um, yeah, that's the town where we had like this nuclear power plant, like exactly the same as in Chernobyl. Did you know that?
Oh, shit, no.
Yeah, and the series were filmed there.
The
Yeah.
HBO.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it was this now defunct power plant was used for that as well, because it's identical to one in Chernobyl, the Piglet. Yeah, so uh, I'm pretty old fart, I guess. I'm 44. Uh, will be 44. So yeah, I kind of uh, quite seasoned metalhead. 30 years. I think it's 30 years I'm in metal at this point. Yeah, so uh, and I play guitar like maybe for what, nearly 26 years, 25 maybe. Yeah, something around that. And Sisyphean is my second band actually during this period.
What was your first
So,
band? 'Cause I was gonna ask you that
uh,
anyway tonight, so what was your
yeah,
first
sure.
band?
The first band was called Inquisitor. Well, not very original name, but the music itself was, I think, was pretty neat. It's kind of very progressive. I, uh, I could hardly call it black metal, although it has, some significant attributes musically. But well, think of I don't know, maybe Arcturus Emperor Enslaved, something along those lines. With very pronounced piano parts, uh, very yeah, very dense, quite technical, very progressive, but at the same time very musical. not easy music to grasp, but if you're interested, I can drop you a link uh, to get yourself familiar with that if you're interested. So yeah,
How many recordings did you guys do?
well, with me, we did only one, but the band itself, they had one prior, and we were hoping to make a third one, but this didn't happen because the band just split up. Yeah, so and actually some of the material which was well, let's say a kind of leftover material was reintroduced. Some bits of it were reintroduced into new Sisyphean album, actually. So the song "In Divergence" is it was it was brought into uh, into this album from previous sessions. So it's quite old song, really. 10 years, yeah, I guess 10 years something, and it's pretty much unchanged.
So Saulius is that guy who always writes. He has like this endless stash of riffs, and that's always keeps growing. And he is just this idea generator, endless stream of music, endless stream of chord progressions or chord aggressions, as we tend to joke around. And well, basically, the new album it's fully composed by Solus. Like
Not that's not completely true because uh, yeah, as we kind of joking among ourselves is that I am composer and Dainius is a songwriter,
Yeah.
and those are a bit different things. So yeah, because when I bring the material on the table, I mean, prior to this, we do not. I don't know how the lyrics will be placed. Uh, the I don't have a full picture, so I just bring the meat, and Danius, makes the stew.
Just puts the seasoning on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What was the
then-
release you did with Inquisitor? The title of it.
Sorry.
What was the name of the title of the release that you did with Inquisitor?
It's called Klinamen Episteme.
Is that
2014.
now, was that the first band you ever played on a stage with?
Yes.
Okay. How old were you when you first played live with them?
Oh, let me think. It was 2009, September. So I was 27, maybe. Yeah, I think I was 27. Yeah, quite old at the time. Not a teenager, but well, at least yeah, I fulfilled my dream. Yeah, now I did this like 100 folds.
Yeah. Augustinas, how about you, man? Where are you born at? What year?
I was born in Vilnius, right here, where I am now in Lithuania. I was born in '92, so I'm a bit younger.
Damn, yeah,
I'm 33 now, so Jesus
must
years.
be nice.
It's like Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, already getting the back
Jesus
pain.
for the season.
Well, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
How about you, Dainius?
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I was born in '88, so 38 years now, and I'm from the seaside. Not totally from the seaside, but there's the small town called Grimsday. It's like 15 kilometers from the seaside. So yeah, um, it's a cozy town and good place to grow up. Of course, the '90s in Lithuania, first years of independence were kind of wild. And it wasn't always safe of being a metalhead with long hair and whatnot. But yeah, I survived, I guess.
I guess Solus, you'd probably have the most memories of this, but yeah, so like what Lithuania is occupied by the Soviets and the Nazis, what 1940 to 1990, March 11th, 1990,
Yes.
obviously the date of independence. So how was it, because obviously I'm from the States, it was totally, you can get whatever you want, you get tapes, records. How was it here as a kid, man, trying to get music back then?
Yeah. I mean, it was so long time ago, really. 80s, when I was born. Its memory is kind of hazy, but I do remember some elements, like the amber. Maybe it was amber, maybe not. But yeah, it was a portrait of Lenin hanging in my kindergarten, hall, something like
Wow.
that. I remember we had Russian uh, Russian propaganda, Soviet propaganda, books for children, movies. Yeah, uh, I did experience that a little bit, but there there already was this, uh, coming uh, coming times of change. So yeah, I don't particularly remember the 1986 catastrophe in Chernobyl. Somehow this kind of I missed that as a kid. Yeah, and I do remember the coming of independence and the the invasion in 90s, January 13th, when the Russian tanks
TV tower.
re-entered. Yeah, re-entered Lithuania, and yeah, we have this dramatic event. And yeah, and seeing how this how my country, how my nation and country developed during that time, and yeah, also um, uh, how how difficult was to obtain like metal records. I remember when I started out, uh, it, it was quite a deficit, I would say. I mean, just just the thought about having a CD it was kind of unthinkable. Uh,
Yeah.
and uh, and it costed like I don't know. Uh, um, how can I estimate? Let's say about like 40 euros something. Well, not maybe 40, at least 25 euros, which converted into our previous currency was lots of money.
What was the first record that you, remember getting or first CD that you actually got on your own?
Well, not really on my own, but my my father bought me that one because at the time I was just a schoolboy without money, without job. So, but yeah, my first two records were CD records, were Metallica, Kill 'Em All, and Ride the Light, and I still have them,
Yeah, there
of
you
course,
go.
because that's Metallica, that's classic Metallica. That's
And what was the first show you saw?
Oh, it was called Baltic Thunder. It was a small local event, uh, maybe four bands or five, uh, and it was in let me think, maybe 1996, I guess. Yeah, probably 1996. Uh, uh, Local acts only, pure underground, wild. Really, it was really well. Well, that was quite an experience for the first time. I remember I didn't have enough money for a ticket, but the promoter for some reason, they just said, "Ah, what the hell? Just do it and pay what you want, and enjoy the concert." So yeah, that was my first time.
Nice. Dana, same question to you, man. First record and first show.
Well, I started listening to metal when I already got the internet. So I got internet quite early, actually. I think I was the first one in the whole school who got the internet. And I was lucky to already be able to get music online. But like the first CD that I downloaded or acquired later was there were these two bands that everybody in the school was talking about. So it was Children of Bodom and Dimmu Borgir. And of course, I had to get them. And it changed a lot. But the first record that really made an impact to me was, I think, The Sections, Storm of the Lightbane.
That's a great
And
record.
that changed everything for me. I just then started digging and drowning into like this dark occult themes. Was something like 15 at the moment, 14 maybe. So yeah, The Section, then Immortal, quickly came Deathfall Omega, Belphegor, the Austrian band, changed a lot to me. So yeah, it wasn't as hard as for Saulius, for example, but yeah, I would consider myself lucky to be stepping into metal when it was kind of available.
Speaking of Belphegor, I'm the one that created their MySpace for them and ran it for them back in the day when MySpace was a thing.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. Hellmoth had me do it's a whole long story. I used to do it right for a zine in Tampa called the Rivet Rag for many years. It was a published, a print zine that we did there, and that's when MySpace was kicking.
Did you have
Good times.
the guys? Like, did you have to reply as if you were Helmuth or?
No, eventually he had someone else take it over, but I actually have all the you can't really see. I have a bunch of stuff. I have like strings, some Lucifer and Cestus, drum stuff from that album, all the promo stuff. But yeah, it was a weird time, but that's when MySpace was like the thing. But and Danis, what's the first show you attended?
Oh, there was a small scene in Klaipėda near my hometown. There were just local shows, like local bands, maybe some band from Vilnius. So pretty underground gigs, doing Metallica covers and things like that. But the first more serious, bigger show was in Vilnius. I had to travel. I think it was 2004. So I was like 16 years old. I had to travel those 300 kilometers to Vilnius alone. I knew nobody in Vilnius, and it was Behemoth. It was 2004, I think, April, something like that. And of course, like seeing, I heard of Behemoth before, but then I just snatched all their merch, what I could have afforded, and whatnot. So it made a huge impression on me. I think half a year before, the section on Watain was also playing in Vilnius, but I couldn't afford to go there. So it's still like one of those things that I regret missing, obviously.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
saw Dissection. Haha.
yeah.
Nice. And Augustinos, how about you, man? What's your first record and first show?
Oh man, I got it easy. Didn't have to fight for anything.
Yeah, he's born in like 2020. Okay, guy.
Nah, but I have two older sisters, and I remember being like 6 years old. So this was even before first grade. And one of my sisters, because the other one, she's a year older, and she had already moved out. But with the other one, we were still living with our parents, and she was studying graphic arts in the Arts Academy in Vilnius, and she would always have people over in our place. So the guys and girls that she was studying with, they would come over, and there was this guy, and all of the guys from the band know him. His name is Arturas, or Arce, as we call him, and he would bring the like cassettes or CDs to me when I was like 6, and I remember Maybe he like brought some earlier, but the ones I remember, the first ones I remember, he came up one day to me and he gave me two cassettes. One was My Dying Bride's The Angel and the Dark River, the 95 record, and the other was some album from Life of Agony. So that was the first two I remember. And I didn't really get Life of Agony, but somehow my 6-year-old brain really enjoyed My Dying Bride. And that really stuck with me. And yeah, and the first record I bought with my own money or my allowance was Pink Floyd's The Wall, because I had recently I was maybe 12, and I had recently seen the movie, and I really enjoyed it. So I just wanted to have a trinket to remind me of that. So yeah, and the first show I saw, well, I was 13 and I started going to this club that doesn't exist anymore. And they used to have like a lot of like ska and punk and hardcore bands. So my first show must have been a ska gig, I think. And there's a funny story as well. So I was still living with my parents and my sister, but at that time I was 13, but she was already pregnant. So she and her husband, for some reason, they were staying with us just for a bit, like 2 months maybe. And I was sleeping on the couch because they had my room. And one day I came back from this like also like punk or something gig, and back in those days you could still smoke inside. So I came home really late at night, stinking of cigarettes, and I went to sleep. Just threw my clothes on the ground and went to sleep. And my sister came out to use the bathroom, and she smelled everything, and she started throwing up all over the fucking place because she was like already a third trimester, and really
Oh yeah,
sensitive.
they're so sensitive to everything. Yeah.
So I got some shit for that. Yeah. But yeah, and I would say my first metal gig was, I think it was also a local one. It was a festival called Burning Steel. I guess you guys remember this one as well. And I think Carpathian Forest was supposed to play
Dark Funeral.
Carpathian Forest, I think.
I think Dark Funeral.
But they got canceled. So
Yeah,
like it didn't happen.
So it was Dark Funeral.
Okay, yeah. I still think it's Carpathian Forest, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
We're going to talk about a lot about what Sisyphean, and that's what obviously, this show is based upon. We lost one of our guests, Camille. We had some technical issues, so we lost him. He's the first, only original member left of this
Correct.
band, but it started out with Division, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Camille, he moved to the UK, right? For a period of time.
Yeah, he was in UK around, I think, 2010, 2012. In that period,
Let me know what history you know, because obviously I was going to ask Camille some couple of these questions, but he's not with us. What do you know about the Division formation?
Not much really.
very generic, a bunch of friends who would like to drink some beer and then decided to pick up instruments to be more productive, maybe, or to have more reasons to drink beer. So yeah, it started out as this black thrash, a little bit of dead black thrash, old school project.
It's more like
And-
bestial metal.
A little bit, yeah, maybe something according to that bestial black metal type of music that was kind of not trending, but it was more visible back then. So, but eventually, yeah, the lineup has changed. People has changed. A more solid, a more concrete idea that is currently Sisyphean was formed. So yeah, a few members left, and Camel and other people involved in the band decided to do some sort of not only a rebranding, but like more of a pivot in the musical direction, in the philosophical direction. Instead of singing about war and destruction, it would go into philosophy and existentialist lyrics, and to be more black metal oriented, bringing more musicality into the fold. So
Mm.
yeah,
But you're talking about their debut album, Illusions of Eternity. They had an EP, which actually was kind of transitional
The Fall of
record.
Nations, right?
yeah. So from Division to Sisyphean, yeah, there was this change of direction, going like towards more. I don't want to say serious music, but it's obviously more philosophically grounded and more musically elaborate music.
And maybe Dainius, like when so that band formed in 2012, right? Division, and that was I think had Vladimir on drums, Lucas on vocals, guitarist, and then Totavidis was also on guitar in that band. And then I believe Totavis left and replaced by Adamus. So is
Yeah.
that what was the lineup that transitioned over into Sisyphean, the first carnation of the band?
Yeah, so that was pretty much the lineup. When Totavis left, Adamus came to the band and he brought a bunch of new ideas with him, as much as I know, because he's a really talented guitarist and knows his stuff. And I think that was like the um, main motivation for this whole change of band's direction. It's of course a pity that Camille couldn't join. He would tell more about the history of the band. But in any way, like this band was like the first project for most of the people that were involved in the band, and anyway, people would just be learning how to play instruments properly. So in those cases, you would usually see like kind of big progress every year, because when you start to learn an instrument, there's like so much to discover, and you write a song, and then half a year later you would discover totally new things, like new scales, new harmonies, new chaos, and new chord aggressions, and and whatnot. So progress that was signified by the first years of Division and then Sisyphean is really, really immense. And I think these years could be described as that. So searching for identity, progressing with the musical capability and means of expression.
Yeah, I'm gonna play some Division now. I'm gonna play something off of the Fall of Nations EP called The Aftermath that came out in 2013, and we'll be back on the Tampa Morgue after this track. And that was Division with the Aftermath from the Fall of Nations EP from 2013. And we'll start talking about some Sisyphean now. I'll start with you, Saulius, actually. When did you first pick up a guitar? Was that your first instrument?
Yes, then probably the only one. Yeah, so I picked guitar 2000s. That was the first time I actually touched the guitar. And mm, my my good friend, so actually whom I got involved into metal, he decided to learn how to play, and that's also was something I really wanted to do, but I just couldn't, you know. I just couldn't convince my parents, to buy me at least some cheap instrument, just to start doing that. So one day he just came to me and brought his new instrument. Well, and he left it for 2 weeks at my place. So I was I was getting to know what guitar actually is, but yeah, didn't have much luck because I didn't have any information, any material to learn from. So yeah, he took the guitar after 2 weeks, but he brought an acoustic guitar, and he left for more prolonged period of time. And then I started to learn something. Uh, I figured how to tune the instrument on my own. Somehow I just figured it out. Yeah, I discovered some chords and started, started mm, to try to make something and even record. I actually did on a tape recorder, but those tapes are gone. Now, kind of, I regret that, but oh well. So yeah, and I was quite obsessed, but I didn't have any system, so my progression was quite chaotical and far from effective. But eventually, I got on some proper track and become more aware what I'm doing and how things could be done better. So yeah, it took some time and practice, and the band I mentioned previously, Inquisitor. When I came into this band, I was invited actually because the band went through also some transformations. Like the half of the band left, so they needed new guitarist, new bassist. So yeah. Uh, since my good friends played there, so they invited me because I already kind of had a reputation that I'm in their eyes I was a decent guitarist. So yeah. So when I came into the Pulse, I was already quite prepared to learn quite complex and uh, lengthy songs. Like the first album of Inquisitor contained four songs, which actually span about 10 minutes each. Yeah, and I already went beforehand. I went the air training because I was sitting at home and picking up parts from various songs I like. So I kind of trained myself. How can I pick guitar parts by myself? So this actually benefited really a lot. And in all cases, in Sisyphean as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Augustinas, how about you, man? When'd you first pick up the bass?
Oh, bass is not my first instrument. Actually, I started on guitar right about when I was around 13. Then I quickly moved to drums, which I still do play in another band. And bass I picked up rather late. I'd say I was maybe 21 ish, something like that. But since I was familiar with the guitar, so it wasn't that the transition wasn't that hard. Yeah. So not sorry there. But yeah.
Yeah, but I can add that Augustinas is also a great drummer. So, having being a drummer and knowing harmony pretty well really translates into bass guitar skills and mastering that instrument really, really well. Because you know rhythm, you know how to accentuate certain parts, be that bridge the gap between harmonical instrument, which is guitar, and then pure rhythmical instrument, which is the drums. So when he came to the band, we immediately started sounding like way more tight. Bass sound would just be roaring, and it really changed a lot on the band sound.
Well, that's nice to hear, isn't
Yeah,
it? Thank you. But yeah.
Augustinas, who do you play drums with?
There's a band called Juotvarnis. Yeah. But yeah, it's a Juotvarnis, and it's kind of I'd say it's a progressive metal. And so there's a lot of like tempo changes and measure changes and blast beats and double bass and then some groovy stuff, and so it's all over the place. And yeah, we just dropped an album recently as well, so I had to figure out how to get all the gigs with that band and Sisyphean into a small time frame and more conflicting schedules and all that. But
Oh.
it's all good fun.
Dainius, you play. So was guitar your first? Because you also play drums in Living Altar, and then also bass and Fuck Off and Die. You do live bass with them.
Yeah, yeah. So during my school years, we used to have this place in my hometown where um, people who go to school could go and attend some kind of burali. How do you call this? Like
After school
after school activities. Yeah. So we had a drum set there. We had guitars. We had basses, and learned to play some basic drums back then. And after I finished school, I emigrated to UK for university studies. I bought a bass out there. Had a couple local bands, but nothing too serious. Playing drums in one, playing bass in another. And when I came back to Lithuania in 2010, I formed this band, bestial black metal band called Living Altar. It was initially me and the guitarist. I was on drums. But later I switched to bass and vocals because we found a crazy drummer who could have filled in for the spot. So yeah, the band didn't live for too long. I think it was like 2 or 3 years. We managed to put out a demo and did EP, play some local gigs, one gig in Belgium as well, which was pretty crazy. But yeah, but all in all, during that time frame, I tried to devote myself more to like gig organization and promotion, because in 2010s, like in Lithuania, we didn't have that strong of a extreme metal stage scene. Like there were maybe 3 black metal bands. All of death metal bands were kind of old and not that interesting. So we figured out, our circle of people would go to festivals in Germany, for example. Nuclear War Now Festival was the highlight. Black Flames of Blasphemy in Finland was also a highlight. And they kind of wanted to form a circle of people who, work towards bringing those bands to Lithuania. That's how this festival called Armageddon Descends was born. and it kind of occupied most of my time, free time when it comes to the music. But yeah, eventually in 2019, Camille invited me to join Sisyphean, and then my priority switched. So I didn't want to pick up an instrument. I think doing vocals, and you mentioned this theatrical aspect of Sisyphean. So when your hands are free, when you don't have to play an instrument, you can be more expressive on stage and put on some show, be more engaging with the crowd. So yeah, that's basically when I stopped playing any instruments and then turned more towards vocals.
And were you familiar with Sisyphean? Like, at that time, what they had the Illusions of Eternity was the debut record, right? They put out.
Yeah, or yeah, I knew Camille since forever. Well, probably 2011, something like that. And of course, like all of us were friends, and we knew each other. Camille was also involved in that festival organization that I mentioned. We did lots of gigs together. So yeah, we were quite close.
Dovidus from Crypts of Despair. Lucas was leaving the band, right? And I think you and was it Andreas joined at the same time period?
Yeah. So Davidus was a bassist and vocalist, and like when he left, uh, the band got me on vocals and then Andrews on bass guitar.
When was the first time you saw Sisyphean live? Pre being in the band.
Oh, I think it was a show that we did with Living Altar, and then it was Division. We did a show in Kaunas, 2013, something like that, with Luptus as a headliner. Then I would see pretty much every show that they would do here locally. We would either do promotions for the show. For example, when Sisyphean opened for Blood Incantation in 2015. So I would do the promotion for that gig, or do some like technical assistance, some just help for the band, either on the day of the show or as a promoter or something like that. So we were always kind of close all the time.
And Saulius, when is the first time you saw Sisyphean?
Yeah, I expected you will ask this. So yeah, I think the first time I saw Sisyphean was 2014. It was Wacken Metal Battle, Lithuania. I think that was the first time I saw Sisyphean. During that time, they still had this transitional sound of bestial black metal, and yeah, they didn't win. But I mean, just looking back, since then, and and to measure how much this band actually grew and what it has become. Like, oh, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy transformation. So yeah, and prior to joining the band, I was involved with different activities. Like I did the logo for the band, this Falling Man. I did both Illusions of Eternity and Colors of Fate layout for CDs and vinyls. So pretty much a lot of visual works that Sisyphean were requiring at the time. I was the person to fill in. Yeah, the merch stuff also. Yeah, and one evening, actually, it was Dainius' birthday. 2000 to 2020, 22. He actually just like very casually invited me into the band.
Because that's when you joined 2022.
Yeah. but it took like half of a year to officially join because they still had some obligations with former guitarist Adonis. So yeah, I joined on August 19th, I guess. Dainius, correct me if I'm wrong. And fun fact, actually, Augustinas joined on the same date. What, 3 years after that?
Oh, shit.
August 9th.
Yeah,
So that's-
Augustinos, when did Sisyphean first, wind up on your radar also?
Yeah, I was at that gig that Dainius mentioned, the one with Blood Incantation. I think I was doing live sound. I was doing front of house.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. 99% chance I was front of house. But I had zero recollection of Sisyphean. Because I only remember Blood Incantation, and Blood Incantation looking seriously pale and I don't know, tired. So that's what I remember from that gig. But later on, we had we had some joint gigs. I was playing with Augustinas and Sisyphean was there. We were doing the Mercury booking showcase as well in 2021. Yeah. After that, I did. Sisyphean has a live video from that, so I did the mixing, the sound mix on that one. And later on, we also did a few gigs together. We playing with Augustinas and Sisyphean being on the same bill. So we were always close and we were always friends. So
with Lithuanian scene being kind of small, compact, and cozy,
yeah,
it's impossible not to bump into each other at some point of time. So there's like, I don't know, maybe how much, 100 active people, active musicians in the scene, and it's really, really, easy to connect with people. Like, okay, so you're playing in this band. Hey, what's up? I like your song. I saw that you released an EP. Great stuff. Great artwork. You always have themes to talk with people, and it's just being a part of this smallish circle. It's just natural that you would come around people and meet them.
yeah, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it.
Yeah, and you guys, in this area, I've been here for about 8 years now, back and forth between here and Tampa. And, obviously Lemmy's has been here since I've been here and stuff, venues like that, which I mean, personally, coming from Tampa and then originally from New Jersey, we had like we had the City Gardens in New Jersey and then CBGB's in New York and then the Brass Mug in Tampa. And I kind of get that feeling with Lemmy's here. It's a very important venue for metal bands around here because, ever since I've been here, it's the one place you can go. Would you guys agree with that?
I'd say it's you're correct on that one, and it opened at a really special time. Their timing was great, and I think it was deliberate because everything else, at least in Kaunas, everything else kind of closed or just went under, and there was no place for metal bands to play. And then Lemmy opened, and it kind of became this metal sanctuary of the town. And people do come over from other parts of the country as well. The distances are not that big here, so it's an hour drive for us to go to Lemmy, so it's fine.
And bands appreciate it. We've had bands on here, like we had Slaughter Messiah, Lord Sabathon and John Berry and those guys, and they played there. And they always rave about Lemmy's, and again, coming from where I come from, it reminds me of some of the legendary places that we have that are not gigantic places, but just played a big part in the scene,
Plus, you don't have to be big to be legendary,
Yeah.
No, man, it's a cool place.
Plus,
talking-
people who work there are really honest. They do this because of the passion, and you can
They're
really
fans of the
see-
music too, right?
Yeah, they're fans of the music. Like you cannot fake that.
Definitely. And we mentioned earlier the Illusions of Eternity record. I know you guys didn't play on that record, but I'm gonna play a track off. I'm gonna play Epitaph to the Remnants. And even though you guys didn't play on that record, I know you guys performed some of those songs and stuff. You know, uh, Solus, I'll start with you. What's your feelings on that record?
Uh, well, I do occasionally spin it myself, not very often. But yeah, I mean, I did the layout, the design for this album, so it kind of it struck me as kind of that the band actually has a potential. Which I mean, prior to this, I was a bit. I mean, yeah, I'm just being honest about this. I was a bit skeptical about Sisyphean, making it, but yeah, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that the band actually moved with each release, and this record is very solemn compared to others which came after. It's kind of it has this their vocalist. I don't know how much at liberty I'm to talk about this, but I guess this is
Lucas,
not
you're
a
speaking.
secret. Yes, he committed suicide. So this album was kind of it was like a memoriam uh, for him. In a way. And this this kind of mourning was permeating the record. I mean, at least how I perceive it.
And it was 2017 he passed away, correct?
Yes, yes. Actually, at the same time, another my friend committed suicide. The same way, actually. This Yeah, it was strange time because it was kind of a string of suicides in our circles. Uh, yeah, very, very, very weird time. Well, what else is to add here? I don't know. I mean, so far we played only one song live since I'm in the band. It was Necrocatharsis. Uh, and I don't know, maybe at some point we will include more songs from this one, but the problem is that most of them are really long, and we try to we try to make our set fresh. So uh, old songs taking a lot of time is it doesn't look very optimal, but I hope we will get to that one at some point. Well, maybe commemoration of sorts in the future. Who knows?
And Dainius and Augustinas, do you guys have any opinions on that record?
Yeah, well, I remember that when the album was released, that there were no bands in Lithuania who would play this kind of music, and sounded kind of fresh, with a not really modern, but good production, uh, like serious lyrics, serious attitude. Uh, they released a vinyl there, which was not that often.
Yeah,
Uh,
Drakkar Records, right? That was their first vinyl
Rockstar
for
Records, right?
Sisyphean.
And it was an international release. Previously, like most of the Lithuanian bands would release on local labels like Lado Takas or Inferno Profundus Records. So it immediately struck me as, okay, these guys are serious. And there weren't that many bands, especially from the extreme metal, who would, approach this craft that seriously. So yeah, I think they raised the bar for the band and then for the scene as well.
And Augustinas, you have any opinion on the record? Or any
I
thoughts
just
on the record?
what Dainius just said. Yeah, I remember the record coming out and it being on Drakkar, and like everything seemed like this band actually has a bright future.
And you guys mentioned Lucas, of obviously vocals for Division, and then Sisyphean passed away in 2017. Anything you guys memories of the guy? Like personally that stand out to you?
I didn't know him really. We just talked once, and he was stepbrother of uh, one of my friend's girlfriend. Yeah, sounds convoluted. Yeah, so that's pretty much in my case.
I also didn't know him too well, but as much as I remember, he was he was having rough times. Like, didn't have much of a family, didn't have like a close circle of friends, and eventually, like, I think life got him cornered. But I can't say anything bad about him. He was a pleasant person to be around with, and yeah.
I'm going to play a track from the Illusions of Eternity record that came out on Jakar Productions 2017, and I'm going to play Epitaph to the Remnants, and we'll be back on the Tampa Morgue with the guys from Sisyphean after this track. That was Sisyphean with Epitaph to the Remnants. And it goes, 2017, there's a four-way split that comes out. Then Camille starts working on material for the next record, the follow-up. I know they're playing Under the Black Sun Festival in Germany. Again, Dovidus leaves the band, Dainius joins with Andreas. So when you first entered the band, are you still like Danis? When you were a kid, did you ever think, "Hey, man, I want to be a front man"? And did you know you wanted to take that duty over for Sisyphean? Was that something that like interested you?
Mm, not really. I mean, at first I was skeptical because I was having my plans around, gig promotion and, doing this festival. They thought it would be a distraction. And they went to a couple of rehearsals and thought to myself, holy fuck, these songs sound great. They were preparing for a new release, so writing new material. We didn't go into rehearsing like old songs. We went straight into rehearsing new songs, like songwriting and arranging the music. They thought to myself, this is pretty good stuff. I mean, I want to be a part of it, and the position like frontman, I I don't look at it as a some kind of from the rock and roll point of view that I would get bitches, money, fame, or something like that. It's not a black metal ideal for me. But being a voice for the band is like a still special thing. You write poetry, you proclaim the poetry to the audience. It's something beyond the music that and I kind of got accustomed to this role, especially writing my own lyrics later, especially on this latest album. So it kind of grew up on me. I had to learn a few things, of course. You learn as a performer, you learn as a musician. It has been challenging sometimes, but there hasn't been a single regret since then.
And when you come into the band, obviously you're talking about Camille is starting to work on material for the Colors of Faith record. Are
Right.
you involved in the writing when you first join, or you kind of at first just handle the vocals, or are you already dealing with lyrics and stuff right when you enter the band?
So a majority of the album was already written, like 60-70% was already written, and it was about arranging, like how much do we want this riff to be playing, like where the vocals go, this and that. Lyrics were also written by Kamil. Kamil was the main lyricist back then. But it's still, I had to adopt the lyrics, to go with the cadence of the music, so to be more in rhythm of what the music dictates. So some changes, some shuffling to the lyrics had to be done anyways. But the band was welcoming in that sense. So I didn't get a strict script to play by. I had my own ideas, and they were kind enough to incorporate them. So it was kind of natural. We just let our creativity shine, and the different ideas just converged into what became the album.
Your first show with the band, a Mercury booking showcase in Vilnius with Autism.
Yeah, yeah, and Divergence and Extravaganza and Frenetics. Yeah,
So that was your first gig with Sisyphean
yeah,
then.
yeah. I joined in 2019, and then there was COVID, but we used COVID period quite productively to record the album, to mix it. You know,
You guys did the video too for Open Wound Storm. Was that during the COVID period?
yeah, yeah. It was the last week before the second lockdown came in, and actually Augustinas was doing sound for that for that video.
Yeah.
Okay. And Solus, you also playing in a band called Hyrasis?
Yeah, not so much of a band, but it's kind of my personal project. Just at one point, other people were involved in that. So so we did like, yeah, I did like what one split, which is more experimental, abstract noise music. Then debut album, which sounds quite shitty.
The
But the music
transparent,
is
vibrant shadows.
yes, and two EPs. Yeah, and it's taking forever to finish new material. Hopefully, this will be done at some point. Yeah, at least I'm aiming to do that. So yeah,
Sounds like
that's let's say it was my learning ground. Basically, it's my
But
uh,
have you listened to Hyresis ever, uh, Tony?
I haven't heard it yet. No, actually.
You should absolutely do that. Like, it's so wicked. It's so just out of this world. Like, it's still like black.
wow.
Saulius, shut up. I know you're humble, but let me give some compliments to you. Like, the Hyresis project, it's like totally different from everything you have ever heard. Um, it's just and crushes you like with a wall of sound, but also it has so many intricate details, like on the arrangement side, on the chord progression side, on like the small details that are intertwined in the music. That again, when these EPs came out, that Solus mentioned, uh, I looked at them and thought, "Wow, this is totally something new." Like in the Lithuanian scene, like probably um, neighboring countries scene as well. So
High res is what uh, actually convinced Dainius, to get me into the band
yeah.
of
So I thought
Sisyphean.
I have to steal his praise for
It all ties
Sisyphean.
together.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
some of that material. I mean, that style is, eventually seeped into both into Inquisitor and Sisyphean as well. I mean, yeah, you can hear some subtle resemblances in some places. Yeah, but I don't do this full on high res on Sisyphean because it's a bit different beast.
with Sisyphean, you guys also go through a label change. Like from you guys leave Jakar, and how do you guys wind up with Transcending Obscurity Records out of India?
So again, Dovydas from Trips of Despair tipped Kunal, the label owner, that these guys from Lithuania, good guys, reliable guys, you know, are doing a record. Maybe you would be interested in releasing the record. And Kunal gave a listen, and yeah, we got the deal. So the release didn't went as smooth because again it was like COVID. There was like delays everywhere. The pressing plants would just
Sounds a
have
nightmare,
very long
especially for
lead
vinyl.
times. Very long lead times that would take like 6-8 months to get a record pressed. And so it was kind of not stressful, but unintentionally delayed. But we also had some time, to prepare some music videos, arrange some presentation shows, and then do some wider promotion. And all in all, like collaboration with Transcending Obscurity, it was, I would say, pretty fruitful. He definitely knows how to push his bands, like do promo and whatnot. So yeah, I think the Colors of Fate was both a step up from the musical point of view and the recognition point of view for the band.
The Colors of Faith came out 8 tracks on vinyl and CD. Where was the album recorded at?
At different places. Oh no, sorry. It was recorded in Vilnius. So we there is this Aortas band. Aortas used to be called Autism. So their guitarist has a studio, and we tracked everything: drums, vocals, guitars, bass, in his studio here in Vilnius. So
And it was mastered in England. At, am I correct? That record?
it mixed in Poland in this Satanic Audio, um, by a really nice person. And he did like engineering for Behemoth, and then he's a part of this Thaw band. He worked with Azeroth and whatnot, and the record was mastered by Cruciamentum. You know this band, Cruciamentum?
Yep.
Metal band. So it was mastered by their guitarist vocalist. So I think he was living in Rhode Island at that point. So I think he's residing in Florida right now.
You guys, the artwork on that was done by Adam Burke. I mean, how important is the artwork? Because I know you guys, again, you guys have a look, you guys have a certain thing that's going on with the band, and how would, in your opinion, how important is the artwork?
It's an integral piece of the whole. So I mean, of course, the music is most important thing. But if you want to present the music as a manifold thing, like you have to have an artwork that translates the message. You have to have videos complementing the message, the whole idea, and revealing different aspects of the music. So I wouldn't say that, artwork is like not important or super important. It's just integral part of the whole album, and how do we want to formulate the vision about the music.
Yeah, I'd say, and speaking about Colors of Faith and artwork, I think this is when I actually started taking Sisyphean really seriously, is when Colors of Faith came out. Because I love the mix on that. But actually, this is the case where my first thought, this looks amazing. That's the first thing I thought when I saw the printed vinyls and the CDs, and also the amazing video from the Dainius cinema. Yeah. And then I thought, yeah, this is a band that takes it seriously. And
Yeah,
taking also kind of I'd even call like the cover of Color of Faith, even like a brave move, maybe, if I can say that, because it does look a bit different than what at that time was coming out.
what you would expect from a black metal band.
Yeah, like all the bright colors and everything, but it looks so damn good. And it makes sense. Like it fits the whole album. Yeah.
And you mentioned the video that was for Hearts of Mercury, correct? You had a live video for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to play that track now. Anything you could tell us about that song?
Well, it was already written when I came to the band. Writing and arranging it was very smooth, and it's still like probably one of the favorite tracks to play live. There were only a couple of shows when we didn't play it live, and it's it has this really aggressive, energetic mood with good leads, guitar leads, really catchy ones, and the lyrics are also kind of deep. It draws from the Buddhism a little bit, and it's a good track. It's a good track, and one of the favorites.
I'm going to play that now. This is Sisyphean with Hearts of Mercury from the Colors of Faith record that came out in 2022 on Transcending Obscurity Records, and we'll be back with the guys from Sisyphean after this track.
Temporary
That was Sisyphean with Hearts of Mercury. Saulius, as we mentioned, this is when you come into the band. 2022, Adamus leaves. You join. What was your first show with the band?
Actually, uh, it was the second date of. I think it was the second date for Mgla and Ulcerate. They were starting a tour, the North Leg. Actually, yeah. Uh, when we had what we call an official inauguration, August 19th, week a week after that, Dainius wrote me that okay, we have a tour like for 3 weeks with McGuire and Ulcerate, and I just said, "F me." That was crazy. I mean, I just joined the band, and like this instant, we get this crazy, absolutely awesome tour.
17 dates, right? Baltics
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Scandinavia.
So yeah, 3 weeks. So yeah, it was
Just
in
joined the
Vilnius.
band.
Yeah, I just joined the band. So yeah.
Do you know the songs yet?
Uh, well, I mean, it was very smooth. I mean, we had like one song, one new song every rehearsal. So like one rehearsal, one song, something like that. So we put a set pretty fast. I mean, I already had the experience with a bit, yeah, mm, a bit more difficult music, let's say. So it was well, I won't say it was very easy, but I mean it was kind of it was kind of a bit relaxed, I guess. Yet still had to do a lot of work just to perform this material really tight. So yeah, it went really great. I mean, after like maybe 2 3 shows, it was quite easy for us to feel really comfortable on the stage, and yeah, uh, and has this really great momentum.
That same year, 2022, you guys do the Kilcum, which we mentioned with Marduk, Horna, Dead Congregation. 2023, you play Transcending Obscurity Fest, also with Crypts of
Yeah,
Despair in Poland and Czech also, right? Um,
Yeah.
you guys played in Latvia with Black Citrus in 2023 and Hell Butcher in 2025, 1914. You guys
And
at the
Tokushima.
Winter of Wolves. Um, you guys play Prague Death Fest 5 with Blasphemy and Oro Noir, Tormentor and the Antichrist and Profanatica and a bunch
oh
more.
yeah.
How was that show? I mean, that's a hell of a lineup.
Uh, yeah. Well, mostly it was really great. But yeah, maybe Dennis can elaborate. I think he wants to.
Well, this Prague Death Mass festival is like a pinnacle of this underground black death metal music in Europe. Like everybody goes there, like who is interested in that kind of music, and we made some good connections. Of course, Czech Republic is famous for the beer. Had plenty, and many bands, many favorites were playing. Varatron, uh, then Deathless Void made a killer set. Altars Ablaze, Gals Weird was pretty spectacular.
Mortus.
Mortus,
Fucking awesome.
yeah, Swedish band. Uh, this band just blew my mind. I think everybody's mind.
Yeah, we had to collect our jaws from the ground after Mortus.
Yeah, it was the first time I saw Death Worship, the German Canadian band who just devastated everything, and
Pure chaos.
yeah. So it was great festival all around. Like such a focused gathering of like-minded people that you don't really get here that often. So if you ever have a chance, and I think there will be more editions of that festival, I would recommend going there. Like people are super dedicated. The organizers, I mean, the crowd is again fantastic, and then it was just a honor to be there.
And you
And
mentioned
go
something.
go watch Czechia Under the Horns if you haven't seen it.
It's a documentary.
Yeah, it's a documentary on YouTube. If
I
you
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
that
it, go
either.
see it. And this goes as well for the listeners, not just to you. Go see Czechia Under the Horns. It kind of paints the picture of the whole Czechish scene, as it develops and what's happening now, and it's really interesting.
I've been here in Lithuania for, like I said, about 7, 8 years now. For Sisyphean, do you guys have a band that you guys run with? Like, sometimes you have bands that you always do shows with that you're really tight with. Would you say the Lithuanian scene has that? Or is it kind of like everybody for themselves, kind of everyone's doing their own thing? For people who aren't involved in the local scene here, how would you explain, the Lithuanian underground metal scene?
I was recently watching a documentary about the Seattle scene and how it all exploded, and these guys from Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, they were talking about what was happening, and it kind of I started thinking about the Lithuanian scene and what's happening here, and I know some people may say that I'm wrong and challenge me on my views, but I'd say it's a pretty tight scene because everybody's helping everybody. Like everybody's playing in bands, but one guy from one band does the artwork for another band, and the other guy is like doing sound for them, and the other guy's like blah blah blah. All these things. The other guy does photos for bands, and everybody does something for somebody else, right? So it's all a, a big small circle of
It's like
people. So you get the odd band that kind of is in the scene, or but kind of is not because you don't see the people, but that's super minimal. I'd say everybody's kind of tight.
And one interesting thing about the Lithuanian scene is that we don't get that much division across the genre lines. Like, in some bigger scenes, you have like a black metal circle, then you have like old school circle, you have like modern metal people, and they don't say cross pollinate that much. In Lithuania, because like everyone's like it's not a big scene and everyone knows each other, we get really weird cross-genre contaminations, you can say, like a thrash metal band playing a gig with a deathcore band, or hardcore bands, post-hardcore bands playing with black metal bands, and these really,
Stoner bands playing with folk metal bands.
yeah, yeah,
Which does make sense when you think about it.
Yeah,
half
yeah.
half of the audience is high, the other half is drunk, and they all get along.
yeah. But gigs like this wouldn't pass like in Germany or France, or like in more say developed and in some sense more divided scenes. So I think this is a unique thing of Lithuania, and yeah, really, really glad that the scene is very supportive and people are kind-hearted. I think a lot this stems to this wish to get our history back that was stolen by the Soviet Union. No, we were occupied for 50 years, and we didn't have that much exposure to like rock and roll music, say zine culture, demo trading days, and we kind of lost our chance to get involved into those international networks, and that's the way how our current generation is trying to reclaim all of this.
And I
So
will say from an outsider, 'cause I am an outsider for the most part, one thing about the bands here, the past history that you guys have dealt with here, kind of the bands kinda have a I don't know, how would I say, an edge to them, like a rough, like a you could from the history, there's almost like a more of a realness to some of these bands here, and, there may be less bands, but there are some really quality bands here, like, the ones that are out there, it feels real, if that makes any sense.
it does.
certainly does, yeah.
No, it's and for you, we mentioned Division earlier. Obviously, that was more about the wars and stuff like that, and all the the more of that kind of stuff. But you know, Danis, when you took over writing the lyrics, because again on the new record, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes, you wrote most of the lyrics on that.
And I think, yeah, all of them, pretty
How
much.
would you say the change has happened, like lyrically, like the approach you have now? Like, if you had to explain to somebody, first of all, do you want the listener to interpret what they want off of the lyrics, or is there a message? And how would you explain the difference between, you know, the division period, building up the ladder up to where you guys are now, with the Divergence record?
Yeah, well, during the division and first EP period, the lyrics were kind of straightforward about, war, about conflicts, just general destruction. And then it kind of turned towards more philosophical, sometimes metaphysical, mostly existentialist themes. And I didn't try to introduce like revolution in the lyrical domain, but kind of continue the string that the band weaves. But the lyrics, I would say, they have become more explicit. Maybe previously, at least to my understanding, they were more abstract. Maybe dealing with a bit more abstract contents, themes. Now every song has like in Divergence record, every song has like this more or less a theme, a message, and it's, of course, it's weaved in symbolism or metaphors or some kind of hyperbole, but every lyric has a very particular definitive message here. But the whole album, like on the lyrical sense, it deals with human condition. Like that's how we decided to describe like the whole thematic influence or the whole thematic thing of the album, and how what is the human condition like in 2020s, like in the current time. No, we have again conflicts. We have lots of strange, weird things going around.
And also 2025, Augustinas, you joined the band, right? Todovis leaves the band, and then you come in. How did you get the job?
Via Messenger, Dainius just messaged me.
No, I called you,
Or no, oh yeah, you called me. Yeah, that's correct. I'm wrong.
and
Yeah,
he accepted the offer like in 2 seconds.
yeah. It was weird because it was a period last year and end of 24 and first half of 25. I got this is not to brag or anything. I'm just telling the story. And I started getting like calls from bands, basically, you know, a call each month to join the band, and I turned all of them down because I just wasn't feeling it. But when I got the call from Danis, I immediately said yes because one thing, I really liked the band. I really liked what they did with Colors of Fate, and I already knew how the new record was gonna sound because we were, you know, they would message me and ask, my opinion on how this sounds and what do you think about that and blah blah blah. So I was familiar with the music and yeah, so for me it was kind of a no-brainer because I knew that I'm gonna get along with these guys and it's all gonna be fun and worth my time.
And what was your first gig with Sisyphean?
That was the tour with Oculus, the mini tour we did
Uh,
in Poland and
Oh,
Vilnius.
yeah,
Yeah,
so Wroclaw.
This is
Wroclaw.
why this is
Yeah,
why Augustina joined in the first place because of this tour.
nah, it's not that. But yeah,
I'm joking.
in Poland, in Wroclaw was my first gig.
and you mentioned
Terrible long drive, but awesome gig. So yeah.
and you mentioned here in the material, they're sending you the material. So, Danis, when do you guys start writing material for? You guys do 8 tracks for the new Divergence record that just came out April 3rd, right?
Yeah,
When did you guys start writing that material?
immediately when we got back from the Mugla tour. Even during the tour, Saulius has wrote a couple of riffs that he brought back, and those riffs were incorporated into one song or another. And we were so high on this, euphoria of having played like 3 weeks tour in good venues with fantastic bands, fantastic people. We were so inspired that we just dived directly into the writing process. Plus, it was winter and there was nothing else to do. So, you know how Lithuanian
Oh
winters
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Just lock yourself in the studio and let your creativity and then, other things pour.
And what is the writing process on this one? Is that, going from Colors of Faith, obviously, Solus, are you like basically coming up with kind of like a skeleton and handing it over to Camille and the guys and being like, this is my idea? Do they kind of give it back to you and mold it again? Or are you guys a band that actually, so you guys, so Sisyphean's been around 12 years, 14 years if you count the 2 years under Division. Are you guys still a band that gets together and jams like all the time? Obviously, as you get older, shit changes, but what was the writing process like? And then are you guys a band that does get together and jams often?
I guess the first song we wrote almost together was Stupor Mundi. Yeah, that's the one we actually uh, started doing immediately, like the next month, I guess, when we got back from the tour. And well, the thing is that um, this album was written more like in a manner of sound design, I guess, because mostly it was Dainius and me who were working on compositions and arrangements, and because our drummer had some quite serious problems in his family. Yeah, I won't go into details. So this kind of abstain uh, mm, his involvement in the writing process. So yeah, and we we really clicked pretty well with Danius, I think. So the the writing process was very, very efficient and very smooth, actually. I mean, given the complexity of the material and density, uh, we wrote this one rather quickly. So yeah, okay. There were some problematic songs, but overall it was, yeah. It unfortunately it wasn't done as a band, which presented different challenges afterwards. But uh, we'll see about the new album. So yeah, but Divergence was written like, yeah, it was composed in the studio with guitar in hands and
You know, you
laptop.
to get together. You would
Yeah,
just get together in a studio, like rearrange everything in Cubase, like write the drum parts, MIDI drums for the demoing. That's a
yeah.
lifesaver.
So yeah,
So
a lot of pre-production in this manner. So we actually made a demo, which we presented to studios, which we were looking forward to work with, and they were very, very happy because you know this allowed us uh, to convey our vision to sound engineer very clearly what we actually wanted to achieve. Yeah. Uh,
just like different band members would also contribute, like with ideas or comments. You
yeah.
would write a skeleton for the song, then you would try to put lyrics on top. Uh, think of good lyrical hooks, and then try different approaches. And, it's a pretty much linear process, and lots of different ideas coming together at the same time.
Did you guys record this in Poland, this record, or where'd you guys record this one?
Partly yes. We recorded drums in there, and yeah, and the and and the mixing was done. Mixing and mastering was done there. Guitars, bass, and vocals we recorded in our own facilities because yeah, we have means, so we just saved time and money, and not sacrificing the quality, I would say. So yeah, we have this kind of hybrid approach to recording things, and it's probably it's quite efficient. Although it takes more time, but in the end, we are not stressed out too much, and we do not compromise the record quality.
You guys went from transcending obscurity over to Ed Circle Productions out of Norway. How did that happen, and how has the change been for you guys?
Well, after Colors of Fate, we again wanted some fresh look on the band, and we're just sending the demos to different labels. Basically, nobody replied, but I just messaged these Norwegians on Messenger, and then they immediately replied that, hey, we just listened to your record, sounds amazing. Let's have a call. And like on the first call, we just clicked. Like super friendly people. Uh, they've been in the scene for some time. They know how stuff works, and we just clicked immediately. Started chatting, joking, and communication was so pleasant that yeah, we just had to work with them, and it's been fantastic. Like all of this culminated in this gig in Bergen that was just great experience for us.
You mentioned earlier the Colors of Faith cover. I think it was you, Saulius, that mentioned that. And if you look at this, the cover to Divergence is completely different. So it was done by Misanthropic Art. And how much say did you guys have in the? How do you guys go about that? Are you sending Chris, songs, lyrics? How does Sisyphean go about like getting their artwork done? How they, how do you get the message across? Like, hey, this is what we're looking for. Can you replicate this?
So we started working with him. We wanted to do some stage decorations. So basically a backdrop and then two side banners that you have seen in, for example, in the Konas gig.
Yes, I was about to say.
So we did those three artworks in 2023, I think. And when we started formulating the vision for the new album, like we knew what do we want. Like the whole message of the album is like conflict and not being able to see clearly, like what are the possible paths out of this conflict, and you still have to take a decision. And I then studied tarot cards a little bit without any deeper intention. Like I was just curious what kind of tarot card would represent the album best, and I came about this card Two of Swords, which is basically depicted on the cover art, which eventually made it to the cover. And I just translated this idea to the Sisyphean guys. Everybody was pretty much content with this idea, and I guess we just naturally gravitated towards working with Chris again. And then yeah, we just told him the idea, what kind of style do we want, and he nailed it.
It's a killer record, man. And what can you share? What's next for you guys? I know the summer's coming up. I know that obviously before you know it'll be winter, but what do you guys have coming up for the next couple months, live wise, that you can share?
Um, well, actually, for the next couple of months, we we have Dana's wedding in June.
Ah, congratulations, man.
Yeah, yeah. So that's gonna be fun. We're not gonna play live, but we're definitely gonna have some fun. But for the summer this time, not much major plans, but we have plans already that we're gonna announce soon for autumn. So that's all I can say for now.
There will be gigs.
There
Yeah,
will be gigs.
yeah. And writing
And
new
you guys
material.
I was going to
So
ask you that. Yeah, you guys starting to write new material already?
Oh yeah.
yeah, as I mentioned previously, Saulius is this riff machine that checks riffs all the time, and you know, we just need to capture the moment and mold them into the songs. So we have one song pretty much ready for pre-production, and then yeah, lots of material coming up. So as Sisyphean is that band, you know, that's always active, and you know, we try to uh, be productive all the time. Not that we would, you know, like force ourselves to be in that way, but we just feel the drive for it. It's that simple.
Nice, man. Anybody's looking for any Sisyphean merchandise, where would you send them?
It's either Bandcamp, so yeah, sisyphean.bandcamp.com, and we also have a web shop. It's sisyphean.lt, LT for Lithuania. So we have a website. You can see, you know, lyrics and some cool photo shoots, and the web shop out there. So have a
Yeah.
look. Have a look.
And do you guys also feel like, obviously we mentioned Norway is like everyone has their eyes on that, or Finland, or Sweden, right? Do you feel like Lithuania is overlooked a little bit?
For sure,
Definitely, yes.
for sure. But I think this stems, you know, to again the Soviet occupation, that we didn't have a chance to form this Lithuanian music brand, something recognizable. You know, like there's Finnish black metal, there's Icelandic metal, there's Norwegian black metal or Teutonic thrash or whatever. We never got this big big band coming out of from Lithuania. It's, you know, a lot of people would associate with Lithuania. And I think Lithuania is still kind of an obscure country to a lot of people. It takes time to, you know, I think that's a task for our maybe Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the Ministry of Culture to promote Lithuania as a country, like what it even is. For example, a few years ago, I was talking to a friend from Western Europe, and you know, he was just asking, "So, how's life in Riga, man?" And we're no, Riga is capital of Latvia, and like he made it like it was not a joke. Like he truly thought that, no, Riga is in Lithuania. So Lithuania as a whole is not that recognizable, I guess. Like so, it takes time. It takes time.
Yeah, but I'd say it's maybe me being a bit optimistic, but I'm also, an observer of what's happening here in Lithuania, and there's so many good bands now, and I'd say the scene is kind of booming. So I have this vision that, for foreign people, like a few years from now, there's going to be so much happening that you won't be able to not see it.
You won't be able to ignore it.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Me and Solus are pretty old, so we probably won't be around for that. But rest
Well,
rest of you
I'm
guys can enjoy.
immortal. So yeah,
If he's a vampire, he doesn't
Yeah,
age.
exactly.
nothing is happening without me.
Oh man,
Probably.
I'm glad you guys came on. You guys want to say on your way out of here?
Well, glad to be here. First of course, a really nice chat. I hope to meet you again soon. So whenever I'm in Kaunas, I'll definitely be writing you
Definitely.
to get some beers, maybe, or you know, famous wings from Kaunas. And
Yes.
yeah, so what can I say? We just released an album. So if you're interested in kind of complex music with thoughtful and dark themes, and
Well, actually,
production,
bash your head into the wall.
yeah,
Sound wall.
if you like
Wall of sound.
to be crushed by a
Yeah.
wall of sound and still feel alive
Yeah, if you
afterward,
if you love to be obliterated musically, yeah, you can check this out.
Our latest album.
Not this is not under well, this is not overstatement. No, it's understatement, I guess. Oh, just go check it out. This album, yeah, and my first podcast, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, have you
Woohoo.
guys done these before?
Sorry.
Have you guys ever done an interview on a podcast before?
I haven't done one. But Dainius,
Yeah,
Camille,
I've done a
Yeah.
couple.
Yeah, we just popped Saulius cherry, so
Yeah, I never wanted to do a podcast, so here it just wound up happening when I moved to Lithuania. So again, we had Camille with us, everybody. Hopefully, we covered enough of the story, the history of the band. What is the current lineup for those who don't know of Sisyphean?
So the current lineup is Saulius, guitarist, composer, Augustinas,
Yeah.
bass, and producer, I guess. He's a
And-
sound.
yeah, producing and bass and back vocals.
Yeah, back vocals. We got back vocals. It made our live sound so much more punching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have Kamil, founding member on guitars, who sadly was not able to join today. Mantas on drums, and me, Dainius, on vocals as well. So 5 guys, and bringing powerful shows live. So if you are able to catch us live, don't miss it.
Yeah, man. Again, guys, I appreciate you hanging out. And I'll say goodbye to you guys here in a few minutes, but I am going to play another song off the new record. I'm going to play Black Bird That Brings No Joy. And what can you tell us about this track?
So this track is like a total spit in the face of toxic people. Everyone knows such assholes. The world is infested with just naughty people with malicious
Pieces of
intentions.
shit.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, every song makes a point, and this song sort of raises a dilemma: is it ethical to cut such people off? Maybe they're just some element birds, or maybe we should feel sad for them, or maybe it's it's your own interest to preserve yourself and preserve your nerves and mental health, and just cut the ties from the toxicity that the people bring.
This is going to be Blackbird That Brings No Joy from the Divergence record that came out on Edge Circle Productions April 3rd, 2026. And I'll be back on the Tampa Morgue with Ed after this track. And that was Sisyphean with Black Bird That Brings No Joy. And I want to thank the guys for coming on tonight. And Mr. Webb, 139 in the books.
Yeah, man, trucking along while I'm fucking just out here, having a good time, playing music.
Andy
Honestly,
LaRock
I'm ready
next
to
week.
get back to normal. I'm ready to be normal again, dude. Gonna lie. It's all good, but it's time to be normal for a little while and get the show back on the road. Or not on the road.
Not on the road.
Bad
Strike
judgment of
that.
words there, but yeah, rolling. Get it rolling. We'll just say they use the word rolling.
Yeah, it's the thing, like, we had in my house, it's so busy always 'cause I got 2 young kids, so we're like we had dance recital this week, it's never ending. There's always something, picking up a kid from school, taking kids to soccer practice, which, I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. I mean, it's gonna go fast. I can already see that my kids are growing fast, and,
Yep. Dude, my
so I'm
daughter
definitely taking it in.
just she got accepted to nursing school and she's getting all this stuff and sent out her little wish list. And I'm like, this is where it goes, man. Now she's going to have a career. And I'm just looking at this picture on my refrigerator this morning of her just hugging me as a little kid. And I'm like, fuck. I'm just
Yes.
glad that I wasn't in a huge touring band and missed the growing up part. Because if I had missed it, like as much as Terry tours, Terry Butler, or, some of these other guys, and I missed them growing up, I don't know if, looking back, I don't know if I would have been like, it was worth it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any
Oh, yeah,
sense. But
no. Shit, time flies, so you gotta appreciate it, and I'm glad that I'm able to see it, I'm glad
yeah,
I'm glad what I do for work and whatever I do in my personal life allows me to be around everything they do. I mean, I take them to football practice all the time, 3 times a week, or soccer, as we call it in the States, but call it football here. Like you said, it does go fast, but, you know yeah, but so, Ed, I say we, get the hell out of here. We're gonna be again, we have Andy LaRock coming on next week. We have, some other stuff in the works. Do you have anything else, man? I say we, call it a show.
I'm good. I'm ready for bed.
Ed's got
As are
bed. He's
you.
got,
As are you.
yeah, here it's, what, 12:35 in the morning.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
it's all good, man. Remember when I did, the Scott Burns interview, I think we finished at, like, 6 AM my time. So, that was pretty hardcore, but,
Yeah. Well, I would have stayed up with you, man, if I could have jumped on. Trust me.
yeah, well, you'll be up for Andy LaRock, you're gonna be up at, like, 6 o'clock in the
Early.
morning or 7 o'clock in the
Yep.
morning, so, yeah,
Early. That's all right.
be a little bit
I'll
of
do it.
pain.
I get up
Yeah.
early anyway for the gym, so it's all good.
There you go. But everybody else, we appreciate you listening as always, and Ed, where can they find us?
Apple, Spotify, Amazon podcast, anywhere there's podcast. We do put it up on YouTube, audio only. The Tampamorgue at gmail.com for any correspondence. And of course, always follow the Instagram because Facebook fucking sucks.
Yes, it does. And, Ed, I'm out of here, man.
Me too.
Everybody else, have a good one, and we'll catch you next week. We'll have Andy LaRock on here. Peace.
See ya.
This is King Fally from Deceased, and you just listened to another episode of the Tampa Morgue. Tune in next week and stay fucking dead.